I give that a 3.5 cheers.
Welcome into A Toast of Film, everybody. I'm one of your hosts, Trey.
And I'm one of your hosts, E Bo. And you may notice I've been replaced by another Ed because we have our great bud, former colleague at work, the man, the myth, the legend, the original Ed Boy himself.
What's up, man? This is awesome, man. This is very exciting. Still, I'm very excited about this.
Hey, we're excited to have you, man. We're excited to have you. And for that, Eddie, why don't you tell the viewers what we have in store for them today?
Well, y'all, we got old Ed in here, so we got some movie stop talk. You know, we had the Don in here. We did a little movie stop talk, and now we got Ed, so we got to bring that back. But Ed is a big physical media guy, so we'll talk about that. We also have State of the Theater because Ed himself does work at a movie theater. And we will also be ending with a top five, a very special top five, brewed by my co-host, Trey. Trey, why don't you tell him what the list is going to be and why we're doing this?
Yeah, so, I mean, I am one of the biggest espionage lovers out there, and it's no surprise to people who love movies that an amazing spy thriller is coming out this weekend called Black Bag with a stacked cast. One I can't wait to see on screen. So I wanted to give it some love and kind of anchor us into the weekend with this list.
Dude, very solid. And, it's a movie podcast. So we're going to start out just briefly. I went to the Screen Unseen last night and saw Magazine Dreams. Have y'all heard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors, he's super jacked. So, Trey discovered something today that should have told me why I should have been nervous.
Yeah.
This is from writer-director Elijah Bynum. Do you know this name, Trey?
No.
No.
And do you know this name?
No.
So, he is responsible for gracing this with a movie that ended up in most of our worst of the year last year. Because Elijah Bynum was the writer of the Netflix film The Deliverance.
Oh, no. You're kidding.
No. So he was the writer of The Deliverance, and he wrote and directed this.
Have you seen that movie?
I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know why that's making me gravitate towards something with Pacino and like Dan Stevens.
No. Yeah, I wish it was, man. I wish it was.
Ratchet, Glenn Close.
Oh, with the Bayou accent.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He wrote
was
that.
atrocious.
He did not direct it.
He wrote it.
What compelled Glenn Close to to dive into this realm?
My good friend.
I haven't figured it out yet, man.
No big deal. Glenn Close gave me a hug on a set one time.
Oh, well, never mind then.
No big deal.
Cheers.
I think she also thought that Robert De Niro was in this, and it was a different type of movie.
She's like, oh yeah, Netflix.
She was like, Netflix, The Deliverance has a nice ring to it, and then just all of a sudden, all those actors just happen to fall out,
But I will say, Jonathan Majors, he plays Tilly Maddox. And there's two things you need to know about Tilly Maddox. One, you need to know dude is jacked because it is his dream in life to be a professional bodybuilder, be the number one professional bodybuilder in the world. Okay, that part sounds good, right?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
The second part you need to know is he is a mentally ill individual. Think of like some of your more dark mentally ills, like a taxi driver, something like that.
Okay.
He's very destructive. He's very, he doesn't think about things. He just does.
Okay.
And like I said, he is extremely jacked, so that being extremely powerful leads to some very bad things he does.
Okay.
This movie, it's got him in the performance. Like, it is a monumental performance for him. I will say that. You also have Haley Bennett, Harrison Page, and Harriet Sansom Harris, who give really good performances. The acting is great. The issue lies within the writing. This film, the writing doesn't really work for me. Not just dialogue, but also choices of scenes. But the biggest disservice to the film, aside from the fact that, you have a very sick individual, is the uncomfortableness of this film. Multiple times throughout the theater, different people, you would just hear people go, "Oh God," because a couple people left the movie.
Oh no!
Because they were just so uncomfortable with it. I counted 5 people minimum. I know for a fact they left and did not come back.
So, what's the universal review of this movie?
The reviews are very mixed.
Okay.
And it falls down to this. It falls down to simply this. I did check it this morning. If the incredible performance of Jonathan Majors is enough for you, you rate this high.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the writing and the uncomfortable nature takes a toll on you, you rate it low. And those are the only 2 options.
Okay.
There's no in-betweens with this. And another major thing that I had to fall with, which this is only Elijah Bynum's second directed film, so he has potential to get better. This movie had 4 false endings.
Oh man!
And I'm trying to remember the movie. Oh, Trap. Remember when we were discussing Trap and we were like the multiple fake endings of this?
that really aggravated me in Trap.
This one's worse because there is a turn they don't show you in the trailer. It's very reminiscent of something like a Taxi Driver. And that they do a false ending, you're like, oh my gosh. But aside from false endings and the uncomfortableness, let me tell y'all the biggest flaw I have this movie. It's a major plot.
Mm-hmm.
This man worked part-time at a grocery store as a bagger.
Okay.
Part-time as a stalker and bagger. This man, because he's a bodybuilder, he can afford supplements. He can afford to help take care of his grandfather. He can afford to eat steak, like 5 steaks per meal. So I want to know, what are they paying this man to work at this grocery store? Because I went to the grocery store and bought like enough things for like 3 meals, and it was like $70. So I'm like,
I'm sure he gets a disability check, right? As well.
I mean, maybe his grandfather does. I don't think he does because he's been in trouble with law multiple times.
When does the movie take place?
Present.
Okay.
It takes place present day. So my issue with Brain Movie, because we're at the Cheers rating, my issue is Jonathan Majors is exceptional.
Yeah.
I mean, he put literally blood, sweat, tears into this movie. But I just don't think the film is fully competent. I don't know who I would tell to watch this movie because it's so jarring at times. And I just think it still feels a little rookie for the director with the multiple false endings. There's some legitimate plot holes in the movie.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is not that great. So I do think there's room for improvement. He showed some, he picked a quality actor and he had some good cinematography. So there's potential.
Okay.
But
that's half the battle.
Right now, I got to give it a 2.5 cheers.
Oof. Ouch.
I couldn't.
So he needs a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. So that's about a 50%. Because the Majors is great, but the movie just is not. And I hate to say that.
Do you feel like it could have at least thrived from a shorter runtime?
I do think the runtime, had it been shorter, maybe he would have cut some of the fat, maybe cut 4 fake endings, and just give it an ending. Because I'll be honest, this movie, you're dealing with someone who is like a genuinely ill individual. Yeah. And we see him get into countless really bad things. Some of them really, this movie gets more dark than people realize. But with that, I think maybe one of the dark endings, because they go for, this isn't a spoiler, but they go for a more happy ending, which totally was weird. When you're kind of disturbing, dark, uncomfortable the whole movie. And a few of the fake endings are very dark. So maybe they should have done that.
I would agree with that. Without knowing much about the movie, I can see there being a tone issue. You going from, dark animated to Looney Tunes, it just doesn't work,
I mean,
you have that, but then the trailer, at least everything that you're describing, like it's one tone, but then the trailer makes it out to be something different.
Yeah, because Ed and I were last night, and I said that one thing we hate is trailers nowadays, they show too much. And I think this trailer did a good job where it did not. Because trust me, there's a lot of this film that they don't even hit at in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But they make the trailer out to be this uplifting movie, and that is not the movie you go through. You go through a very uncomfortable, very dark, very sad.
That's the vibe I got from the trailer. I mean, I got the uplifting, you know, I had no clue he was mentally challenged. I mean, that's...
Well, I would say mentally ill, because it's never really... They give a backstory on something.
Okay.
And it's never really fully cemented whether he has like autism / Asperger's, or it's a trauma response.
Okay.
Because of something that happens when he's young. So that's why I'm like, it's more of a mental illness, because he'll just get in these fits of rage and destroy things. Like he literally goes to a building at one point and kicks in their windows and destroys their store because they were rude to him over the phone.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have an idea now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Magazine Dreams, if it hits streaming, like I feel like this would be on either Hulu or Max.
Yeah.
Maybe Netflix. But if it hits a free streaming, if you want to see Jonathan Majors showing out like his acting prowess, check it out. If you don't want to be bummed out, I would say skip it, because you are going to be bummed out watching this.
Yeah, I don't mind being bummed out with a good drama. I feel like I would watch it just for Jonathan Majors, because he was robbed in Quantumania. So I need to see him. I need to see him have that justice back, getting back into the acting field. So
I will say this: if you are interested in Magazine Dreams, but you don't want to be bummed out, but you want to see Jonathan Majors be really good, watch Creed 3.
Okay.
Because in that, Jonathan Majors is just as jacked, and he's a villain. And so he gets to show like some of his prowess with, his physical, because I mean, he's just huge, and also with his acting ability for all his dialogue.
Okay.
Because those Creed films, phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like the second, but yeah, I agree. I would give you that.
Yeah.
And the second was a lot of nostalgia. And speaking of nostalgia, gents, we got 2 Eds, and we are cheersing old Ed with the Two-Hearted IPA.
Absolutely.
I think my boys have already polished off theirs.
Yes.
But I got
delicious.
Because I had to cheers old Ed, the man, the myth.
100% agree. God, Ed, so excited to have you on here, man.
Very excited.
Look, I moved into this little closet spot because I was like, Ed is somebody I've wanted on this pod for a long time.
Yes.
Putting him front and center.
Yeah.
And Ed, it's time to go down.
Memory lane. We do memory lane now.
So first up, Ed, Trey, myself, Ed, the Don. We could go on. We worked at a wonderful place called Movies.
Oh man.
A place where the walls were covered. Ed, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I have to cut myself off because I'm interested in this. When you started, were they still selling VHSs?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm pretty sure when me and Ed started, because they only had the one section for Blu-rays.
The racks near the TV, if you walk in on the far right corner, like that rack, both sides were VHS, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then the one towards the front was the only Blu-ray section.
Yeah, because like the right was the kid stuff when you walked in, and then further down, like you had the genres and everything, and then I don't even know how I still remember this like it was yesterday. That place was like a safe haven.
It was for me too, man.
The back left where the door was, you had like the action films.
That small foreign section with the Criterion stuff right there.
Man. When did y'all start? What year do you remember?
Okay, so I started at the bank 2014, which means I started 2011 at Movie Stop.
So you're at Movie Stop 4 years.
3 years.
3 years, 4 years.
2011 to 2014.
Why did I feel like you were at Movie Stop longer, Eddie? I thought you were there
I
long.
was always there, my guy.
Yeah, I guess
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
I was literally always there.
I remember you. I think I want to say I started 2006, 7, around that time frame, because I was still at the theater. I worked there for a little bit, left and came back, and I was there with. I don't know if you remember Josh and Matt, and like at least the manager at the time was Antonio. But
oh no, that was before me.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Because when I started shopping there, Jack was the manager. You remember old Jack?
You were there. I think you were shopping there before that. I remember Jack. I still see Jack occasionally.
I do too, and it's always
awkward because he's always just acts like he doesn't. We don't know each other.
That's another story for another time. But dude, let me tell you, my favorite thing to do was when I opened. You guys remember when you would open and the lights are all out and you walk in and it's just picture perfect quiet.
Oh yeah,
peace.
Yeah,
because you haven't turned on the lights yet. You haven't turned on the DVD player yet with the movie stuff, like the ads over and over again.
Oh yeah,
it was so calm.
Oh man, y'all said it best. Ed touched on it too. When you said it, it was just a safe haven when you went there. I mean, we've talked about this, Eddie, where we just say I would trade in some stuff now to go back and relive like just a day.
Put the uniform, khakis, and tennis shoes on right now.
I'm pretty sure if they opened one up, I would work there free for that first month, just to be able to be a part of it.
Just give me the 50% off coupons. I'll pay for everything myself.
God, man, what I would give to have those $11.99 blue slip coupons.
Oh my God!
With how expensive movies are today, like
even now, go to Barnes and Noble now.
Oh my God, man!
And do you remember when we first got Pops?
Vaguely,
and they were right at the front next to the Dream Machine.
Yeah.
Because it was just the one shelving unit. Pops they don't even matter at that time.
Yeah.
And now look at it. Dude, I would kill to have that Hobbit set, the Ghostbuster set, like all those original sets. Dude, I have the Michael Myers chase that's right there in front of y'all. That's the glow in the dark chase.
Yeah.
And it's signed by the original Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I bought that at Movie Stop.
Man. Yeah, I tell you what, I sure do miss those days. I will never forget my Black Friday work experience.
Dude, you and me both got
24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
24 hours.
Because all three of us worked there at the same time for a year at least.
People don't realize. So this was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So Black Friday started on Thanksgiving at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
It went all the way to Friday at 11 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, I will never.
It did not close. It was open for 27 hours.
Yeah.
Straight.
And I had a new hire, one that Mary recommended. I'll never forget. The same with Steve. I don't even. This guy, he was funny though. I mean, I'll give him that. But it was his first shift was Black Friday, I think,
God, dude.
and he never showed. So it was just me at 4 a.m. till 12 when Kaylee got there. It was.
Oh my God! I forgot Kaylee worked there.
Yeah.
Kaylee worked there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was just a crazy time because, I mean, we had us three, Don, Mary, Sam, Christy,
that was more than me.
Yeah. Like we worked with like Charisse in April.
April.
Because when I was there, I just had
Tatiana. Tatiana was there when I started.
Tatiana was there. I remember she was before me.
Yeah.
But man.
I remember the pre-COVID hours. And so I have to do a shift where I was there from 8 p.m. to like 2 in the morning.
I remember that.
I would go up, and then I was back there. I was back there 10 a.m. to midnight.
God.
Was this one of the times you drank like 5 full throttles or something like that?
Brother, this was pre-full throttle. This was, I'll do you one better. This was when
pure Colombian cocaine.
This is when they sold the 24-ounce.
Man, I remember
the big rig.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was down those things because God, let me tell you, God bless the Don. I've always told him this because y'all remember how they would make us do the money. We'd have to put it in bags, like every few hours. So me and Don were counting the money at the end of the night. We're both exhausted. I'm hella exhausted. Yeah. And I counted the money and came up 4 total because I counted 4 times. And I told John, I said, that's it. I'm just quitting. I can't do this because it's like now it's past midnight.
Yeah. I remember you told me that.
11. We've just been counting it over and over. You know, that took me to the man
that was the transition. But let me ask y'all too something. This has always pondered my mind in the era that we're living in now.
Yeah.
Do you think in today's age, if a privately owned version of Movie Stop moved back into that building, or just a medium-sized building, it could make it in today's day?
No.
Yeah.
I am actually going to say yes. Hear me out on 2 reasons. I do have 2 reasons. One, I have customers at the bank that were our customers at Movie Stop.
Nice.
And they still buy DVDs. And they still bring up to me how much they miss Movie Stop. So I think, but also nostalgia. You have people on TikTok now championing physical media. So it has like that resurgence kind of coming. I mean, think about this. Do you think 10, 15 years ago, Flow would be getting a Criterion release?
Yeah, fair enough.
But last, and this is the big one. Let me ask you something, okay? Just say yes or no. Okay, just yes or no. Can you walk into Target right now and buy a movie?
No. I won't even go into Target or Best Buy anymore because of that.
Same. Yeah.
Can you walk into Best Buy right now and buy a movie?
No.
Can you walk into Walmart on release day? I had to throw that in.
No. You got to go like a week after.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get a 4K.
So exactly.
I think people are devoted to them because, like, especially around here, we have Walmart and Barnes and Noble. That's it.
All right. So my thing is, I'm cynical because the pricing is going to have to change, to some degree. But you have new and used, so that does help. But there is definitely a market for it to some degree. But I feel like in Atlanta, you have places like Videodrome, you have movie theaters like the Plaza that still thrive because there's a community there. Here, you have like they do like the film school stuff or whatever, and there's definitely people around. But like, my thing is just consistency.
Yeah,
you need the movies. You can thrive off your used movies, but new releases,
I think
I could do well. Like my thing is new release wise now, like the way that it kind of is at the theater. It's just like you'll have spouts where it's just nothing, and then good movies and not. So I'm hopeful for sure.
I update Trey on that all the time because y'all know I'm very big. And let's just finish with this movie stuff, and then we're going to talk some more about physical media.
Yeah. Okay.
But Ed, who would you say is your top 3 people you work with at movie stuff?
Oh my god!
And don't include people that are in the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say for ease of sake.
In no order, man. I would have to do 4 or 5. God.
Okay. Who's your? How about this Mount Rushmore style? Who's your 4?
Well, in no particular order. Okay. Sharice was always the funniest person. Sharice is a comedian.
I always tell Trey.
I never met her. Yeah, I never met her.
This can brighten up any room, make anyone laugh. There's a seriousness to her, but also like just there's a humanity with that kind of like humor that people, especially now in this day and age where people don't embrace that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Don, obviously, just because like I've never had anyone treat me more like a human in my life. I feel like it. Like
Don, man.
at that age of feeling vulnerable and stuff, and someone older that just never used it against you, they never weaponized that kind of like I'm the smartest person because I'm older than you kind of thing.
Yeah, you kids don't know what anything anymore.
A humble, genuine, amazing human being who honestly, respectfully, probably didn't even need to work there because we're working at another job.
He
will tell you this to your face. He literally had no reason to work there except for the fact that he got first.
Yeah.
I think that's all of us to some degree. But like,
that's where most of my 50% of all my paychecks went.
I was committed to the movie.
And there's two people when I started. There's Matt and Josh, who I remember one of the first times I went in there. Matt recommended the movie Brick, and
Paul Walker? Was that
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt? It was Ryan Johnson's one of his first movies, if not his first movie.
I'm thinking of Brick Mansion.
Oh God, don't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
It's a modern day noir, that gumshoe detective kind of thing, set in a high school background where it's just girlfriend turns up dead, and it's just Joseph Gordon-Levitt, scrawny, long hair, probably a little bit after he did Third Rock from the Sun kind of thing. Where you just kind of like, you don't know how to take him serious because the last movie you saw him in, he was in the first 5 minutes of Halloween H2O, dead with a
God. You're right.
Ice skate to the head.
Yeah.
But
God, I forgot about that.
No, and to this day holds up. Like Lucas, I think his name is Lucas Haas. I think that's in it. He was in Inception, the guy that got dragged off the helicopter in the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inception, Trey's listening.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites of all time.
Megan Good's in it for a little bit, but my God, just if you rewatch that now, the script is everything. The screenplay, just because like the gumshoe dialogue that's in it is just perfect.
Yeah,
like you would never take Joseph Gordon-Levitt serious until you watch him, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is great.
Brick. How have I let that one slide by me?
But dude, watch it. It's Ryan Johnson's best movie.
Okay,
easy.
Dang, and he's got Knives Out. So I mean,
I like the first
one. Oh yeah, no, the first one to me is the best.
Thank you, Ed.
We're not going to do the second one. We're not going to talk about that. I do like the cast for the third. We're going to cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not supporting that second one, and I love Edward Norton in that cast to death.
Batista I like the second one.
Batista was probably the best acting person in that.
Movie.
I love Batista in it.
But yes, Matt and Josh definitely kind of like shooed me into applying just because I love for film. I was working at the movie theater then at the 15, and that was just all she wrote. And just being able to work in a place where I'm more comfortable being there than at home kind of thing, where it's just, those are the places where, I don't have any money. So I'm just going to go window shop and just looking around at things that I want. And just,
I do that today.
Yeah, but there's nowhere to go anymore. Like I said, I went to Barnes and Noble, and
you're right.
They got steelbooks and stuff, but like,
they got Criterion.
Yeah, but that is reasonable for the pricing, especially when they do their half off. But because of not Warner Brothers, but Disney owning 20th Century and stuff, there's no reason in the world where Alien Romulus 4K should be $45 and a steelbook is $56.
No way. Yeah, completely agree.
$56 for a steelbook.
Completely agree.
Like, I'll just go on eBay. But like, I want to support these businesses. I want to support physical media. But it's just, at what point I'm just going to have to be selfish and just get what I want, just because everyone buys things and resells them. So it's so much harder to appreciate physical media.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it's
a bad flipper community in Columbus.
Yeah, it's getting worse too. I mean, it's bad.
Like I'm not proud of the fact that my go-to to buy movies is Amazon.
Yeah, no, and seriously, that's what it's become now. I mean, my last 3 steelbooks have been online purchases.
What sucks is you slip cover back.
Yeah.
Dude, doesn't it suck that you never know, one,
if you're getting
if they're
one,
going to put the slip cover on it?
Dude,
kills
two,
me, man.
If it's messed up.
By the time it gets there, when they put it in a box with no bubble wrap or anything.
Dude, the steelbooks that I've gotten dented.
Oh my God.
So crushing. But like,
thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And like, I need to see what's the last movie I bought on Amazon, because I bought something last night because I'm a big video game nerd, and like,
oh yeah, same here.
It's called Martin Eden. It's a Italian film that apparently is just really good. But I just bought it yesterday. Anyways, I will still support physical media. That Cuckoo was the last one that I bought.
Oh yeah,
because I love Homer Schaefer all day, every day. And previously, other than that, Godzilla -1.
Me too, buddy. I bought that on eBay. Paid way more than I should have for it, but I had to have that steelbook.
See, I didn't get the steelbook for that just because
it was outrageous, dude. It was outrageous. It was a Christmas gift.
I know what Trey
was it the white backdrop with the imagery is just incredible.
And it had the clear slip, and then it had like a booklet, and it came with a good bit. Paid $62 for it. Killed me.
So, yes, we've been talking about it. The movie stop was a store, nothing but media. We are big media guys. Me and Trey love movies. Me and Ed love movies. Me and Ed talked at the theater when he was telling me about the Nora Criterion coming out.
Oh,
dude, I had to find somebody. I had to tell someone that would appreciate it.
Gorgeous, like Criterion.
I told y'all I had props. So I, my room, because I have a good organization system, and I found what was the last 5 movies that I purchased, and I have them, and I'm going to show y'all.
Okay.
So last week, my birthday. On my birthday, I actually bought this after we went to Mobella's.
Okay.
At Walmart.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Red 1 on Blu-ray.
Making Dwayne Johnson very proud.
Yeah. So someone has to support it.
Look, I love that movie. That movie is great. It's a great guy.
I think J.K. Simmons can easily sell something like that or help.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You'll get happier it isn't that good. So Trey was with me. We were at Barnes & Noble, A24 section. I didn't know this was out yet, and I about fell out because Sing Sing on Blu-ray.
So nice, dude.
Coleman Domingo, phenomenal. These A24, they're like these weird little paper ones, but they're so nice. Next up, this one I'm very proud of. We got Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim.
If I didn't like you so much, I would rob you.
Yeah, I know, dude. That thing is such a nice.
I'm pretty sure that's like $50-something at Best Buy.
Yeah,
and not Best Buy, but Barnes.
It is.
Oh, your boy has it. All right. Hey Ed, can you show the viewers your hoodie real quick?
Dude, beautiful hoodie.
It's a great movie though.
But it really is. Oh man,
this is a great.
Oh, you bought it? You bought it?
It's also a great steelbook.
What?
I could have bought it and I didn't, and then it was sold out.
Look at the back.
No way.
No one appreciates the inside imagery.
Let's see it.
Oh, the inside?
Let's see it.
You want to see it?
I was hoping. I know it's the shot of the carriage. I'm assuming
it's the carriage.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
When
up to the castle.
Yeah.
What's his name? When Nicholas Hoult gets out the carriage and he's at that intersection, and then the camera pans back and it cuts through the carriage. It should have been that. But I'm jealous. Dude, where'd you find that?
Your boy has ways. This is the way.
I just got the regular slip. I didn't even know they had a steel.
Lastly, this was an asked me for DVDs. I said yes. I still buy DVDs sometimes. Trey was with me because I've never seen this. I had a coupon, so I got this for $1 at Barnes & Noble.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's never seen it, bro.
Really?
He's never seen Idiocracy.
It's way more relatable than it should be.
It is so relatable, dude.
So those are my last purchases.
Okay.
The Gatorade fountain.
Dude.
They don't even have water. Bro, I couldn't believe Eddie hadn't seen that movie.
But what would you say? So VHS to DVD, right? You're hugely changing the format.
Mm-hmm.
DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, they each have their benefits. But if you just go bare bones, they're essentially the same format. They're on a disc. Do y'all think that right now, at the time of recording, it's 2025?
Yeah.
Do y'all think within 10 years we won't have physical media?
I think what we will have will be limited to a new release section that is just the biggest box office. These the the indie movies, the Sing Sing that you bought out there, some of the A24s. I think everything will go.
Love Lies Bleeding.
I think the only movies we're gonna see in like the new release section are like the ones that can afford it, like the Nolan movies, like the Oppenheimers out there, like the ones are going to hit, like
your Marvel movies.
Yeah, your Marvel
DC
movies. I think in 10 years, that's what we're going to be subjugated
there
to.
will still be Blu-ray.
That's what I think. What about y'all?
I'll give you that. It's an interesting kind of thing because just having that perspective from how things are in the theater.
Yeah.
And just there's no shelf life for things in the theater. Like there's things that do well that you want to see do well that just sometimes word of mouth has to carry a film.
Mm-hmm.
It used to take time, and some movies would just they used to be like in theaters for months. So when something didn't do well at first, word of mouth carried it along.
Yeah.
Like I feel like The Substance would have thrived at that market then, just because word of mouth would have pushed it further.
Yeah,
but like everything's in theaters for such a short, brief window that
I've noticed that, man.
So
when we were kids, things in a movie were minimum 5 months.
Yeah,
minimum.
Avatar, the first Avatar was at the
Yeah.
I mean, about 30 weeks.
Yeah,
and it did well. And that's what it hurts because physical media, it needs that time. It's like people have to watch it.
I think, hear me out on this. What if the next evolution is similar to a game cartridge? Like think of your like Nintendo Switch games. They got that much memory on that little bitty thing, or flash drives.
I want my discs. I guess that's the boomer in me.
Me too, man.
But I'm saying, what do y'all think if that is where they're going to do next? Not that I want that, because I don't. I want this.
Well, to see how they try to enforce this kind of like digital mindset where you don't almost have a choice.
Yeah.
You're just kind of forced into it, where I feel like they're so cheap about it. Like they almost, it's like they don't want to spend money producing anything, even though, like you mentioned before, it makes them money. They make money off of it.
100%.
Well,
you actually. So Ed just gave me an idea. I can almost see this more now in 10 years. When you go to Walgreens or CVS and you go and they've got those little end cap, like you want the Mucinex, it's like a card and you take it up. I can almost see that's what movies are going to turn to, where it's like, you take this up to the counter and you're buying the digital code and that's it. You're not even getting a physical. Dude, I'm telling you, in 10 years, I see that. I see it.
They did that with video games a while back.
Yeah.
We got a really good earlier this year for a film called 28 Days Later. Or 20 years later, sorry.
Great.
But a lot of big controversy. Because at the time of the controversy, not a single streaming service had this right here.
Yeah, did you find a copy?
No, this was your boy's actual copy.
From a long time.
This is how long I've had it. Still has a Walmart sticker where I bought it.
Dude, well, I have a copy too. I didn't even know you owned one.
Yeah, I got 10 weeks, both on DVD.
Yeah, same here, man. I've got both those. I've got a dual pack with both of them.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
This is why physical media is important, because they try and make it so you don't own anything anymore.
Yeah.
But me, as y'all can tell from my collection, I let that stand. So this is why, like, even terrible movies, sometimes, if I get it for the right price, I'll buy it, because I want this movie to still be in existence.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be white, because I tell Trey, so I have Vudu, where I have like tons of movies on there, but I don't own those movies. I mean, I own them, quotation marks. If the site goes down, though,
that's it.
And the memory's wiped, and then the site comes back, and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, pal. Here's a $5 credit toward your next purchase."
Yeah.
Like, that whole collection's gone. But unless like a tornado, God forbid, or like somebody breaks in, which they're in for something. Little woman, is packing heat. But
Or if they go out of business. Because if that site is, if they're done, then everything that you own is gone.
Lose the domain.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
gone.
exactly right.
That's why I always I'll upload because Red One it comes with digital copy. I'll upload that. But first and foremost, I want that movie where I have it in my hands and I get to.
Well, it's going to look better on a physical copy, but then, like I brought up before, like things like Barbarian, where underappreciated but great, but there was no physical release at all.
Genuinely,
I can't believe
release with no physical media.
I can't believe I let that one slip through the cracks and never researched why it never
hit me.
Me either.
I'll be definitely researching, but we kind of been touching base on theater, and we're lucky enough that Ed Man himself works at a movie theater. As I always love. First thing I do is I immediately look right to see if Ed's at his desk, so I can come up and talk to him.
A like-minded friend. I'm just like, oh my god, a person I can talk movies
with. Yeah, right.
If y'all knew how many times I'll get to the theater early, so I can get a good seat, get my snacks, and I'll just be talking to Ed for 30 minutes.
Heck yeah!
We're past the time the trailers are going. I'm looking down. I'm minutes.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
There's one trailer left, but I gotta get to the seat.
You would think I have no friends, so I'm just like, please talk to me.
No, but I get it, man. No one. This is why we're so glad to have you and Don on the pod, because movies are less and less of a a loved industry, man. I mean, not as many people.
The culture just changed.
The culture. That's the best way to put it.
What I was just saying is my most definitive way of knowing how much the culture changed. When we were kids, you could go to people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, with kids, everybody has phones, everybody has computers, iPads, so people just hang out virtually.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't going to houses, and even if they hang out in person, they're doing it the Sonic parking lot.
And to add to the virtual aspect, they're like, hey, movie just dropped. We'll pay $20, watch it at home, come over, we'll watch it. Back in the day, you went to the movie theater. That was a top tier experience, when I was a kid.
And you were lucky, 8 months from the DVD came out, or now you have The Wolfman, which came out in January. Is already on Blu-ray 2 weeks.
Yeah, insane. Month and a half.
Dogman came out a month ago, or at least 2 weeks after its release, out on digital.
Yep.
I wouldn't say I was forced to buy it. My son loves it, so I bought it. But I think it's going to be on physical next month.
Yeah, April 1st or 2nd, whatever that Tuesday is.
Wow.
And it's insane. Companion is another, where it's just
Companion, same day.
It's just insane. That's something that yet I haven't seen it, but if things were in the theater long enough, I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me bring up something to you.
Yeah.
So if you'll look up top, in my little board display, top left, you'll see me with two folks and then me with somebody underneath. So that is the director, writer, his wife, and the lead actress for Screamboat, the David Howard Thornton Steamboat Willie movie. So they brought up something interesting in the Q&A I got to attend, where people are asking questions. So I got to ask a cool question, but they brought up how important pre-sales are, and I didn't know this. So for independent movies like theirs, pre-sales determine the length.
Really?
Yes, they specifically found out from
that's wild, right?
Distribution.
God, that hurts.
So think about this: for a small movie like that's a word of mouth movie.
Yeah.
If their pre-sales are, let's say, I'm just going to generalize. Let's say 10 theaters, just to math easy, and they sell 5 seats at each theater, they might only get 1 day in theaters.
Yeah.
But let's say pre-sales, they get 50 tickets at each theater. Then they'll grant them, be like, okay, we're going to allow it to go 3 days or a week. So that's why he was stressing. He was like, y'all, if you have any interest in seeing this, please buy your ticket like a week in advance.
Yeah.
So that they can see those numbers for the pre-sales, because that's fully going to determine how long this movie is staying theaters. And
so
Trey
rough.
and I can tell you, this movie
it's
hysterical.
It's fantastic. So Eddie, very great point to bring up also the people listening. I mean, that's a great piece of knowledge. Have you looked into seeing if it's going to come to Georgia?
It is.
It is.
It is. And
okay.
I can tell you this will be there because I want to see it. We saw it in a packed room on a projector, small screen. I want to see it in an actual theater, good audio.
Yeah.
It's going to be at your theater, Ed. Actually,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good deal.
Let me tell y'all this.
That's gonna be one we all watch together then.
And this is another thing that's interesting. So people always talk about how expensive going to the movies is.
Yeah.
Your popcorns, your drinks, and that's because the concession is where the theater makes money.
Mm-hmm.
Because for let's say a Marvel movie, theaters aren't getting any of that money opening weekend.
Yeah.
Because Marvel has a chokehold on who gets the money from the ticket sales. And a lot of studios, they'll take a high percentage. Marvel, sometimes they'll be like, we're getting 100%. And if you want to not show our movie, you can go right ahead. But the thing is, the percentage drops as the movie's in theater.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're talking about, where these movies don't last, that's really hurting the theater profit, because 5 weeks in, the theater would be getting 80% of ticket sales,
or the company.
Yeah.
The theater and the company. Yeah.
Theater.
So it's intentional. It's 100% intentional.
Yeah.
So they're specifically harming.
Mm-hmm. Actually, and what's crazy, Star Wars had a deal with theaters where they would retain 100% of the ticket profits for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So not until because they knew they were going to be in theaters for 2-3 months. So theaters couldn't even get any profits until the next month.
They couldn't even make a good one, dude.
Yeah.
And the thing,
besides the first one, besides 6.
My thing with the pre-sales is that, at least from what I can see and just acknowledge and know, as for the most part and everything, is pre-sale wise, the only things that I feel that I see do well pre-sale wise are just Marvel movies.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. There's not a huge market for it, because once Ant-Man came out, that movie did not do well.
No.
They're not promoted well. And everything after Endgame has gone downhill. Obviously, writing and consistency is everything with any Marvel movie.
Absolutely.
But those are the only things I can really say will do pre-sales.
Mm-hmm.
And people show up, but every Friday it's your regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Just the people that you just establish a relationship with.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
it's not the same.
Yeah, I get it.
So with these screen scenes, it's so funny to me. So I don't know if y'all would remember him by name. Y'all would 100% remember him by face. We had a customer, Jeff Vanderbilt, and he comes to a bank too. Real cool dude, loves movies, still buys physical media.
Yeah.
Me and him complain about Walmart every week when I see him, because he's like, went there on Tuesday. Guess how many new releases were there?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, buddy, I was there before I came to work.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
0.
And they look at you like they're crazy when you ask for anything.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
I literally had a woman who thought I worked for somebody. And I was like, baby, I'm just trying to get my movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be out, know?
Jeff is at every single screen, and he always sits there in front row because he doesn't want people talking. Because these screen unseen, I love it because we get to see stuff early. I hate it because it's a very casual audience. They got their phone lights on bright. They're talking loudly.
Yeah.
They're people you don't want around you when you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
And that's why if I have an opportunity, if the sun and the stars align, it would be early in the morning.
Yeah.
Just go in the morning when no one's there, because at night on the weekends you have to worry about kids kind of thing, just talking about your movie, and it's not worth the price.
No, it's not.
I rarely go on Friday nights, but I remember I think it was last year, did Tara come out last year?
Yeah.
So Trey was still in Charlotte. I went to a Friday showing of Tara, and Ed had to come in there because it was this big group of kids that had bought seats all throughout the theater, but then they all like came in there and just sat together and were taking other people's seats and caused a whole commotion.
Oh my god!
And Ed came in there and he looked at me and just shook his head. They had to go through the whole theater and be like, "Okay, what's your seat number? What's your seat number?"
You're just a babysitter. That's all it is. And like, there's not
oh my god.
To try to explain to someone the ethics of respect in the theater, where it's just like, shut up.
Yeah, I
know. Like, it's crazy.
Oh god.
It's. I get the idea why people don't like the theater experience because it's kind of mismanaged with other people's kids and stuff like that. I will still support it and still like endure it. But like, I think the last movie I saw like on the opening night was Dune. The second one.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, 10 out of 10. I mean, that movie was fantastic.
I saw it on my birthday.
I'm gonna need a whole hour to talk about how much I love.
Okay, we don't have time.
Dude,
movie was flawless. I literally not a problem.
And you're sitting in the presence of a couple of A-listers.
Oh,
that's right.
And
newly enlisted A-lister over
your
here.
boy sees so many movies that 3 times this year I had to pay for a movie because I had already done my 3 A-lists for that.
I know they're upping it to 4 soon.
Thank God.
But even then, like, it sounds so crazy to explain to someone that, like, yeah, I have no problem paying for a movie that I want to support. Like, genuinely just appreciating something like the art.
For me, I don't got the kind of money to see movies like I want to see. Ed, how many times did you go to the theater last year?
Not enough.
Trey, how many times did you go to the theater last year?
Less than 20 last year in Charlotte.
Ed, would it surprise you to know that I went to the theater
over 100
107 times?
I'm proud of it, man. I'm jealous at the same time.
Me too, man. The time
I've already been 22 times this year.
Like, my kids are getting to an age where like I can shoehorn them into like doing what my parents scarred me with.
Yeah.
Like, my first movie as a kid was Aliens 3. And I'm pretty sure I was like, hey, that's David Fincher's first movie. So
it was David Fincher's first. And I respect what he was trying to do.
Well, they had issues. Apparently, there's a lot of issues with the screenplay. There's an original script.
Yeah, you don't say.
But like, I'll support. As a kid, I didn't know I was supporting it. But like, sure, like, I'm going to bring my kids to stuff at a point where like people will give me probably crazy looks. But like,
oh, dude, 100%.
Watch this movie somehow.
100% agree.
Me and Trey went to see Clown at the Dollar Theater. The old Dollar Theater. We went and saw Clown, which is a movie about a demonic clown eating children. And there were multiple children running around the theater.
I loved it.
I'm like, where's the clown at? Because I got a couple of kids off.
That's my thing. Because I sat in the theater, like, I shut up because I knew I was going to get beaten. Like, if I was just talking during a movie or something like that. But like, it's going to get to a point where I'm just going to bring my kids to the early shows and get them acclimated to what a drama is. We're going to watch. You're going to have to sit down and watch Black Bag one day.
Oh, like, I'm telling you.
But just as a whole, it's something that I want them to experience and have the same memories that I had. That's why I established that love for film.
I agree.
There's lots of things that went over my head as a kid that I didn't realize I was watching. I had this like conversation at work trying to explain to someone that like, yeah, I saw something about Mary with my parents.
Yeah.
Not knowing a lot of the context for some of those jokes.
Yeah.
And just like,
I mean, I saw Midsommar Trade.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward. My parents are old, like Southern Bible Belt. Like
at least it wasn't Hereditary.
You know, man, I don't know. I think I might take Hereditary over Midsommar.
Hereditary was
yeah, probably.
No, I saw it with John because we sat top row and spoiler alert, when the little girl gets killed, that whole thing.
I couldn't believe it.
I never saw a trailer for the movie. So me and 2 other friends watched it. And then we get in there. I'm just like, this is beautifully shot. Like, this is like a very ominous, impending doom, just building, just uncomfortable. It's like, is this guy shadowy figure in the corner half naked?
But
like in imagery where like
Tony Collette,
dude, robbed of an Oscar.
100%.
100%. That is it. There's nothing anyone can ever explain to me. I don't know who won that year, but it shouldn't have been.
That was 2018, right?
I'd say close.
2018 time.
Yeah.
Time is an elusive beast, so the fact that that's 2018 hurts.
I know.
I know. It's insane because that movie is incredible, and like that's where the theater experience I kind of mentioned before, where I kind of want to slowly kind of shift from watching trailers and going blind, just because if things aren't going to have the same value of being in theaters as long. I want to at least experience it differently while I'm there.
I agree with that.
Comic book movies for sure, like Superman. Feed me all the Superman. This like the indie films and stuff. Like there's a movie with Alison Brie and Dave Franco together coming out in August. That's body horror galore.
Can't wait.
And I'm gonna avoid all kind of things just so that I can actually just be surprised.
They're also married in real life, so that's what's gonna give it some really good chemistry in that movie. But so Eddie, what do we have next for us?
Well, real quick, before we get into our top 5,
okay,
I just wanted to have it for the viewers and listeners. So in movies, even to this day, they always show the old, like you put in the film, you slice and dice, you put in the projector for movies. So is it just a box nowadays that you like put like a disc or a USB or something in?
So like perspective wise, when I started at the theater, at least made my way to booth, it was still 35 millimeter.
Oh,
so like it was still at least dealing with film. Yeah. So like when Star Wars Episode 3 came in, or Peter Jackson's King Kong, when that came in, film, it comes in reels, you build it, splice it together. That and Aviator were so huge, and that's me showing my age, because when I started at the theater, the last movie I saw in theaters before I started was Man on Fire, and then when I started, it was opening week for Day After Tomorrow.
Oh man.
So, and like it's so crazy that like this memory of like Passion of the Christ was still in theater 13. Van Helsing was still in theaters, I want to say. Maybe. Troy was in theaters. So it's shifted from film 35 millimeter to splicing, building everything, threading it through the projector, aligning everything, because you have to test screen those movies, because if something wasn't spliced correctly, like you have to use the yellow tape, so that when you see things like Grindhouse, where they kind of like pay that homage to that style of film, you see the splice, that little yellow thing in the top right corner, that's it switching reels. That's the next reel.
Okay.
So going from that to digital, where everything is on a hard drive now. So it used to be like with things like Star Wars, where like that was brought to you by a dude handcuffed to the reels. It was like, you're like, oh my God, like it's really serious.
Yeah.
And then now it's just, beaten up box sent by UPS, who like literally just kicks things to you like they're Ace Ventura, where it's just kind of like,
that's a great reference.
Just kicking the box, like these things
100%
beaten
really
up.
good reference.
Like it's terrible, but it comes in a hard drive. You insert it in this like LMS type device where you just upload it into your computer. And then from there you send it to whatever theater it needs to be on, because everything's digital. So
Holy smokes.
It's all like the amps. You have the sound, you can adjust everything, but there's digital projectors.
Okay.
So you just get a hard drive, you put it, you get it, and then you just send it to whatever theater it is. And it used to be you're sent like the trailer list and everything, and you get all your ads, put everything on there, then you get the trailers, you put them in that particular order that they just advise you do it. And then it used to be with film, you have the trailers that they send you to put on it, but you can put anything else depending on the rating.
Okay.
So if you're a movie nerd, you're like, all right, I know what the perfect trailers to put on this kind of thing. Because you have leftover trailers and you do it. Now it's just desensitized. Like, here's a list of everything you have. It's all there. And now you don't even need to do it. A computer does it all. Now you literally you don't do it. You just upload it, everything's done by itself. Everything's automated, so it's just so like impersonal. Where yes, it makes it easier as a job, but there's something about just constructing a film that you love and
100%.
Just like
something, it's the vintage feel. You know,
have you all ever been to the Plaza in Atlanta? Like that place is what you would imagine movie stop is for movie theaters. It's 3 theaters of 4 maybe, and it's just perfect. But
okay, I'll have to remember that
because they do still play movies and film, and they play old movies and film. They had the Lord of the Rings in film. They played Kinds of Kindness in film when it came out. Like, usually larger cities like Atlanta, that kind of market will have it, but like that is something that I will always gravitate to, just because there's an aesthetic that comes with it, and a picture that some things like the only way I can describe this, I remember reading a review for Taxi Driver when like a Blu-ray came out, and they're like, it's good, but it doesn't need to look this tone of movie doesn't need to look this good. It doesn't need to be so crisp where like the VHS and everything. There's a tone to it that helps the colors and everything.
Completely agree.
It fits better.
So there's a theater in Charlotte. I got to go there once, but Trey went a few times when he was up there.
Yeah,
It's a gym. Okay, imagine the Bradley Theater, but they show new releases.
Yeah, that's literally what the Plaza is in Atlanta.
But tickets are like $3, a large pop $2, a large Coke's $2.
Yeah, this was it.
Yeah, and the signs.
You know, what I would give
man,
to like,
dude, we saw Alien there.
To be able to support my kids and just own a theater. Like I would literally be like that guy from Pearl who sleeps in the booth.
Yeah, me and Trey bring this up.
We talk about this all the time, man. All the time.
Like that, the way that he kind of like, this is my film. I'm just smoking a cigarette out back. You want to check it out?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Exactly,
like,
man.
It's to be able to kind of usher in the same kind of love that I have for somebody else.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to do it for my kids, but I would love to do it for anyone that appreciates film as a whole. I would love to own a theater, like a drive-in, anything, just so at like, what do you do in your off day? I'm going back to work, just watch something.
I hope there's an alternate reality where all of us are living that dream, man.
So,
yes,
dude, I don't know why. So when I was sitting in the theater, it was in the Lost Lands. When I went and saw that,
Jesus,
I don't know why. Yeah, I know, terrible time. Trust me, I regret everything. But when I was sitting there, you know, I was thinking back to my acting times, and I was like, what would it be like to be sitting in a theater and then a scene comes up and it's like me, like full dialogue scene, something I didn't really get to do. And I was like, what would that feeling be like? See yourself, like, you know.
With my love for it, I could never be like egotistical about it as it is just like, it's a dream.
It is.
I would just.
It is, man.
I would have to see it once, and then I'd have to go a second time. But like, I would want to just like hide and just kind of watch people. You know, see like what they think of my scene.
It's the same way I feel like in the South that people love sports. Yeah, college football. It's the same way I am about movies, where I'm just like.
Same.
It's the same kind of feeling where I will champion these movies till my last breath.
Absolutely.
Like that's the only comparison, because like SEC football in the South is like,
it's very big.
Disease. Everyone has it.
Yeah.
Everyone. And like me trying to explain to customers at work why they need to watch The Substance, and then I'm like, just watch it. Just watch it.
100%.
Like
that's why I'm glad my team.
When I saw that in theaters.
Dude, my mouth was open the entire time. I didn't know a lot.
Yeah,
I loved everything about The Substance, man. And what's crazy is I called Eddie after the movie and I was like, I needed time to process what I watched, because I was like,
did I just watch?
Yeah, because it was that shocking and that original and so good, and my rating is only climbed because when I got out of theaters, I was like, this is about like a 3.8 out of 5, and now I'm at like a 4.3 out of 5. Like I'm like, no, this movie is almost an A movie.
I'm at a 4.9.
A 4.9.
It's almost perfect for me, just because
I watched it 4 times.
For me, not knowing much about it, plot wise, is great, but the cinematography, the practical effects, the tone.
I love the. So you're watching, and you're like, okay, this is kind of wild. And then when Demi starts transforming, you're like, okay, this is crazy. But then,
not knowing anything.
Ending where you get
perfect.
The
man.
New Year's creature
Yeah.
go out on stage. I'm like, God bless for like something.
Yeah.
There's so many parts of that movie, but like the acting, just the shifts in like the way it progressed, because I didn't know it was gonna just kind of explode in your hand like that. So I'm like, okay,
dissolve into madness.
Well, her finger's a little messed up. It's gonna be okay. It's Demi Moore. You know, she's not gonna sign into a movie where it's just gonna like ruin her image. And then like, it's a hand. And then I remember just kind of like talking to myself. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then like, I remember this shot of this. You see the bathroom, and you just hear her just scream. Yeah, and then like she walks out, and I remember it just progressed, because there's, as a movie nerd, I sound so pretentious where I'm just like, you kind of know what's going to happen in most movies.
Yeah,
you kind of like,
no, that's fair. That's true.
Nobody knew what was happening.
I was just like,
no one,
because she's talking to the guy in the diner, and he's just like, she's kind of freaked out. He's just like, blah 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 blah. But just as it progresses, and you're like, Margaret Qualley.
Just so good. You know, I like her.
Control yourself.
Oh my God. Let me tell y'all, the reason I love her is because one, she doesn't mind being in horror movies from the get-go. Yeah. Anyone who starts their acting career in horror movies, I automatically love them, you know. But she's been a lot of talent stuff, and she doesn't mind putting her whole self into the role.
Driveway Dolls.
Yeah,
dude. My God.
Once Upon a Time.
The Maid.
The Substance. Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But the last 20 minutes, and I remember just my mouth just being open, because I was just like, oh, she's pulling her teeth out.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Dennis Quaid is approaching her. Smile.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Dennis Quaid.
What a scumbag in the movie, but like done so well.
So well.
Like,
he was great.
But the way you can shoot something like that, the cinematography, and just get lost in all of it, and you forget that, like, oh, this is a horror movie. And then the embodiment of the fly for a modern age, where it's just, like I said, the last 20 minutes, I remember just being like, my mouth was just open, because I was just like,
phenomenal.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
they're not going to do that.
That's what I told A when I got the movie. I said, I think what I appreciated the most about this movie is it kept going. Like as an audience, we kept saying it's not going to go there. It kept taking itself to like that next level, and I appreciate that as a viewer, because I'm like, we got our money's worth from that movie. Like we got
Some
it.
people did. I remember, I would say almost every Showtime there was someone that walked out. Every single Showtime. But I did make it a point to go clean that theater or stand outside as it was letting out, and every single person is just like, what the F was that?
Yeah.
It's like really good though, huh?
Right.
I walked out where I was like, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Trying to explain to people were like, because I watched it, I queued a show for some folks when I still watched movies like the employee showings for Infinity Pool.
Oh, and
that's an interesting motion picture too.
That is not what your average audience is going to appreciate. And like,
what do you mean?
I remember like walking out of that movie. Yeah, I liked it. And everyone's just like almost judging you, or it's just like, all right, this guy's weird.
Yeah, man. Nah, yeah, they don't get it, bro. They don't get it.
You don't appreciate Mia Goth the way that you should.
Yeah,
everything she is perfect.
She's literally been in nothing but gold, man. And nothing but gold. Yeah,
and let's
Maribone. Let's not forget about that little classic right there.
She's going to be in The Odyssey, the Nolan movie.
Mia Goth,
Robert Pattinson. That's a whole nother conversation. I will champion him too. But like that cast for The Odyssey, that's just a weird segue. But like everyone's in that movie.
I mean,
obviously they should be.
That's what I love about Nolan. He gives us a theater experience.
Dude. My God.
But what's a great experience is an espionage film.
Yes, dude, underappreciated. A genre that is just like almost made out to be for like old people kind of thing.
Yeah. But when you really, here's the thing though, when you get down to the core in espionage film, I think why I appreciate him so much, the writing has to be solid.
Oh, 100%.
Because we're tricking the viewers like we're tricking the protagonist in the movie. Like, you have to have a deep-rooted story. You got to have some twists and turns, a great villain. I mean, a lot goes into making a great espionage film.
Dude, oh my God.
And there's a lot of different types. So,
a lot of
it's the end of episode, which means it's the list of the week. It's top 5 espionage films.
Yep.
And guys, I think it's only fitting we lead off with Edman himself.
All right. So
that's what I like to hear. So we're doing a top 7.
I have a few runner-ups. Then I'm going to do my top 5. And like it's at least my runner-ups, I would say one of them was at least it kind of ruins the movie, but it's not an espionage. But when you know what the ending is, that's Eastern Promises.
Okay. Oh,
because of the ending, it plays into that kind of method. But Tenet is up there as a runner-up, and Hunt for Red October is a runner-up.
Oh,
because I grew up watching that, and like those Jack Ryan films, I feel like embody a lot of just like it made me think as a kid joining the CIA would be really sick.
Oh man, yeah.
But like top 5, okay. Number 5, True Lies.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah.
And this is only because like they're all great movies, but I think just by like rewatchability and just everything about it. 4's Munich.
Oh, love Munich.
That's where I discovered Daniel Craig, and like the shot of
Eric
him
Bana.
with, for sure. But this the shot of Daniel Craig that Spielberg did of he's looking through the binoculars and they come down and you just looking at his eyes. It's shot so well and just the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see that 3 is Skyfall because that is my favorite Bond out of those Bond movies.
I know you're making Trey proud with that one.
Because there's first off Adele,
Oscar-worthy performance. Literally Oscar-worthy.
I don't even have Adele rack. I need Adele.
I know.
Just Javier Bardem, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
But the transition of what it made, like espionage wise, it shifted from like a modern Bond to like that traditional old school Sean Connery style kind of thing.
Yes.
When they whip out the old car, everything about it, like it's just, it gives you chills when you grew up with Bond, Brosnan, Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Dalton, all of them. And then like that just was a combination of everything.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it took the spy genre and just put everything together. And you had, like you said, a solid villain. You can't have, just like a comic book movie, you can't have a good spy movie without a good villain.
Right.
And Javier Bardem just, when they're exchanging this monologue where he's just tied up, obviously he's not getting beaten by Mads Mikkelsen like a Casino Royale.
Yeah.
So like there's more exchange back and forth, that banter. And then like you see what he's capable of. And just Roger Deakins' cinematography. Like at the end, the firefight scene where it's just a fire and they're just lit up by solely the fire.
Dude,
it's kind of like the shots from 1917, which is also Roger Deakins, where it's just the lighting of him just running and it's only the fire just lighting everything up. And it's just,
it was a perfect film.
It's what I would literally just want out of movies as a whole.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 2, Bourne Identity.
Yes.
Just because I feel like as they progress, they get more convoluted. Just you got the Jeremy Renner ones later on, but like
that original trilogy was flawless.
Moby doing the soundtrack, and then like
God,
I don't think he did Good Will Hunting, then Identity, right?
Yep. Good Will Hunting was like 90s, and I think like 0102 was Bourne.
Yeah, and then you get that, and then there's a lot for that. And then number 1 for me, it's just the overall experience as a whole. I never got to see it in theaters. Is Fallout, Mission Impossible.
Oh man, yeah.
Like that for me is the entire movie is just one action set piece set into another by someone like Tom Cruise who loves what he's doing.
Yeah.
So like your opening, you got your Wolf Blitzer part where they're all just kind of like sitting in the hospital bed and they're like the walls fall down. He's like, gotcha.
That was the best opening to any Mission Impossible. It was the best.
But it just shifts from one set to another. When they hit the car and he goes in there capturing that one guy, and then spoilers, yes, but my God, just the Henry Cavill thing and just the helicopter, the stunts, the shots.
Everything was perfect. Christopher McQuarrie, one of the best directors to do it. I mean, and he's doing, he did Dead Reckoning and he's doing part 2. I mean, he knows how to film a Mission Impossible movie. There's no doubt about it.
Like, I will hook up a DVD player to the theater to watch it just because, God, if they're not going to re-release those movies on IMAX before the new one comes out, it's a crime.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But like everything about that movie, your supporting cast, dude, everyone in it, like everyone you can tell is so invested in the writing, the script, and just pushing everything forward where you take 2.5 hours feels like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think at this point, what is my favorite set piece? Because the Halo jump, this man jumped out of a moving plane. He did a real life.
He broke his ankle too.
No, he broke his leg.
Broke his leg and kept running.
The shot of him in the stick book is him making the jump where his leg just went.
Yeah.
And then you see him because they kept the take where when he pulls himself up, you see him hobble, and then the cut ends where like they had to stop filming for months because the man's leg just went like that.
It is one of the only franchises that proves that it's getting better with age and not really.
The only reason why I didn't put Mission Impossible 3 first is because just the action set pieces just kind of led the way. Where
100%.
Like, if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for Philip Seymour Hoffman in the third one, that movie wouldn't have been as good.
Oh, I completely agree. That was Mission Impossible 3 was hands down the best of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
It's what, to me, 3 is what kind of like, you know,
3 saved the franchise,
pushed it into that like extreme. Like, okay, we're gonna take this to the next level. Like, it was fantastic, man. Honestly, such a great list, buddy.
Dude, thank you for even letting me choose because I had to look online and I was just like, a lot of these movies are things that I grew up with, and things that I've always wanted to see. A lot of like, there's one with Redford, I think like 3 Days of Condor or something along those lines.
Oh yeah,
but like
Robert Redford, great man.
Yeah,
Spy Game.
That was almost there, dude.
Yeah.
That was almost there.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
That's fair. No, it deserves a place in there, but top 5, you had the right one.
But that's just because Tony Scott did a great job at that.
Yeah.
But I'm interested what y'all have to say just because I'm interested.
Trey, do you mind if I go next?
No, not at all.
Espionage is like Trey's thing.
I'm excited to go through mine. Yeah.
End with his list.
Okay.
But I do have some.
Okay.
So this was mentioned because it's technically espionage, but it floats a little much in the action or comedy range, and that's the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Okay. Yeah.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, solid.
Movie. And also, I'll mention I have Impossible 3, Ghost Protocol, Fallout, and Reckoning.
Oh. So not okay, interesting. So not one made the top.
Not one. It was tough.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm really excited now.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Okay.
I was going for different kinds of espionage with my list.
Okay.
Number 5, we have The Imitation Game.
Benedict.
Keira
Knightley.
Solid
absolutely
role,
solid.
solid movie, and that's more of like. There's no other way to say it. It's more like nerds behind the scenes espionage.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Where they're decoding and stuff. So I thought that was a great one. Benedict.
No, dude, absolutely solid pick that deserves to be on there because they won the war. They were mostly, to credit for the British side of winning, that war. Solid pick.
Dude, so number 4, I got 0 Dark 30.
Okay.
Jessica Chastain
Chris Pratt.
getting a little dirty.
Yeah.
New story.
Yeah.
Movie.
Great reviews.
Number 3, I think top 3 are
okay.
So number 3 is, I don't know if you know this. I'm not a Bond guy.
Okay.
I don't like most of the Bonds. However, Trey, there's one thing I love.
Casino Royale.
Daniel Craig's Casino Royale.
Dude, Ava Green.
Ava Green,
just,
bro. Mads Mikkelsen.
If you don't like Bond films, the litmus test is watch Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it redefined Bond.
Yes.
Daniel Craig is so good. Ava Green, check it out.
Man.
Number 2.
He was Bond, man.
This movie, when it came out, was my number 1 of the year. It's got comedy. It's got espionage. It's got action. It's got crazy set pieces.
Fall Guy?
Great cast. That is the Kingsman secret.
Okay.
It took, it took the homework that Bond bestowed and gave a fun, kind of silly version.
Manners maketh man.
Yeah. Yep.
I love Kingsman. We watched it recently in the hotel.
Yeah. Well, and so much inspiration from Bond. Obviously, it's very MI6.
Yes, Mark Strong, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Which also would have been a good Bond back in the day.
The guys, there's no denying what number 1 is.
What is it? You tell me it's Argyle. I'm going
to Austin Powers.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Cool.
Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
I can't be mad at that.
No, God.
I mean,
my cousin was in the second one. No big deal.
That was childhood for me. Was all the Austin Powers.
The Austin Powers, even Goldmember.
Yeah, I like Goldmember.
Especially International Man of Mystery is so funny,
dude. Yes.
Where it's spoofing Bond film.
Oh,
who
perfect.
does number 2 work for?
Yeah. Honestly, The Spy Who Shagged Me is my favorite. The second one is my favorite.
I got to look for the first one, even though my cousin the second one.
First one's great.
What the second one, like the Rob Lowe recasting as far as the younger versions and stuff? Like, perfect movies.
100%.
So I had to get it off.
No, man. Solid. I mean,
that's my number 1.
Solid list. I've got this is gonna be fun to follow these. Very fun for me.
All right, and then Mr. Bond Trey has entered the stage.
I will follow up with a couple honorable mentions. Hannah.
Okay.
Absolute fun, interesting take on the espionage, where the a 14-year-old girl is, pounding on these bad guys, you know what I mean? And then my last honorable mention, this movie is not talked about enough, and it went straight to streaming. It was absolutely fantastic. All the Old Knives. It was Chris Pine. Chris Pine was in it. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing her face, but she's like, she reminds me of Zoe Saldana. Her name is like Thudel or
Sandy Newton.
What was it?
Sandy Newton.
Yeah, something. Maybe that's it.
She was in Westworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in there. She's in there alongside with Chris Pine. It was a phenomenal. And here's what's crazy:
What's this called?
All the Old Knives. Oh, it was fantastic. And I'll tell you, majority of the movie is them at a table talking, and then their story is the actual movie. But it's both of their sides, and you actually
that's awesome.
Yeah. And what's crazy is you don't know which one is bad, if either or if both are good, and you figure it out at the end. It is a great, like, Knives Out way told story. So good. Okay, but that is it for the honorable mentions. At number 5, The Bourne Identity.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be on there. The storytelling's phenomenal, the acting's phenomenal, the like action choreography, the cinematography, the way they're like running with the character, like that wasn't really done a lot before. Paul Greengrass just knows exactly what he was doing in that trilogy. So I had to put it on there.
Gave us the stunt show.
Yeah. And a guy who doesn't remember that he's this elite assassin from like a small classified black rock type group. Fantastic.
Top 5 movie quote of all time. Jesus Christ, that's
100%. At number 4, and this is why I'm so excited to follow you guys up. The Imitation Game.
Hell yeah!
I also had that. I thought it was phenomenal. It is the best opening dialogue in a movie I can ever remember.
Yeah.
When he's talking to the audience, but he's talking to the cops, but he's also speaking to us as viewers. He's like, everyone be quiet. I'm only going to repeat myself once, so pay attention because everything I'm about to say is important. So he's like telling the cops that, but he's also telling the listeners that. I thought that was such a cool thing. At number 3, Mission Impossible Fallout. Number 6. I mean, you give us one of the best. Yeah, you give us by far at that point the best Mission Impossible.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, just like both of y'all said. What a great great twists and turns, great villain with Henry Cavill. It's fun to see him in a villain role, you know. The stash was awesome, man. And just at that point, it was the best action set pieces they've done with the franchise yet. At number 2, Casino Royale. I mean, it is one of the absolute best James Bonds. Just reinvigorated the franchise. So excited. But at number 1, and it had to be, it's Skyfall. Just like Ed said, Skyfall is the best Bond movie to grace our presence. It has a little bit of everything. It has that, like, the new wave of Bond meets old wave, like you said. We get, every Bond that has a rogue agent is the best, like one of the better Bond movies. And then with him being, quote unquote dead, such a fun take. It's never been done before in the franchise. And an Oscar-winning theme song. So yeah, Skyfall finishing up the number 1 spot as it should is my list.
I love it. Love it.
We all had, me and Ed had 3 crossovers. Me and Eddie had 2, 3 as well.
Yeah.
3 as well. So that was, I think we all know, those are the best films to hit for sure.
Well, look at
this one went long, but we got our boy Simon in studio.
We all are, buddy.
We had to talk. We will definitely have that.
Yes.
And the myth, the legend.
I would love it.
Want him here. And y'all follow along. Just keep track of us. Check a Toast to Film on TikTok and Instagram. Check Toast to Film on Twitter at @film_toast. Check us out on YouTube. You can see Ed. Look at that handsome man.
That's right,
Look
buddy.
at that handsome man.
I shaved today.
Hey, we love you, bud. But look,
absolutely, man.
We just hope you have a good night
and good viewing.
Good.